What's up everyone, Tony here, and this is the first of 3 videos detailing the 3 new roles added to Red Dead Online in the Frontier Pursuits content update. Today we'll be taking a closer look at the Trader role. At its core, the Trader role involves you hunting an animal, bringing the carcass back to camp, Cripps breaking down the carcass into materials, and then you selling those materials by delivering them to a spot on the map. In the end, you gain money, XP, and roll XP for your troubles. However, the speed at which this whole process can be completed, and the money and XP you'll gain by the end of it, all depends on which animals you hunt, where on the map you set up your camp, and the amount of goods you could fit on your wagon when performing the delivery. So today we'll be looking at some simple trader strategies that will help you reach max rank a bit quicker. How exactly do all the numbers work on the Cripps Trading Company screen? Where can you find the animals with the most material value? And finally, which of the unlockable trader items are the most worthwhile purchases when it comes to making the trader life easier? Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. To unlock the trader role, visit any post office and pick up the letter from Cripps. Once read, you can meet up with Cripps and pay 15 gold bars to get the business started. Alternatively, all PS4 players receive the Butcher's Table for free. Either way, once that Butcher's Table arrives at your camp, you will now be all set up to begin trading. Now, before we dive into the trader role specifically, I would personally recommend unlocking all 3 roles as quickly as possible. Simply put, being able to tackle all 3 at once just adds so much to the gameplay loop, and really just enhances the Red Dead Online experience overall. The trader role benefits the most from having the other 2 roles unlocked because honestly, there's a lot of downtime where you're just kinda waiting around for Cripps to break down your materials. You could just wait around and do nothing, but I found it a lot more fun to go hunt down some bounties or explore the map and find some collectibles during that downtime. Before you know it, Cripps will have a resupply mission or delivery ready to go, and in the meantime you're collecting cash, gold, XP, and moving up the ranks in those other roles. In my opinion, that's the optimal gameplay loop at the moment, and Red Dead Online at its very best. So if you have the gold, I implore you to unlock all 3 roles to get the best out of this game. With that out of the way, let's turn our focus specifically to the trader role. The first thing any trader should be intimately aware of is exactly how the Cripps Trading Company Butcher Table works. Approaching the table at your camp may be intimidating at first. There's a bunch of icons and bars filling up and angry red text. It's a lot, so let's take a deep breath and break this all down. First up is the materials bar. This is where we start. By selecting materials, we bring up our menu, and any materials you have on hand can be donated to Cripps. Now, at first glance, this menu seems similar to the standard butcher's menu, but the difference here is we aren't selling the materials directly for cash. Instead, each material has a different non-monetary value associated with it, which we're going to call material value. It would take hours to go through all the values for every material in the game, but here are some important rules of thumb. Smaller stuff like feathers, animal teeth, or horns carry the least material value. Pelts or hides that you get from skinning an animal are worth a bit more. But by far the most valuable materials are whole animal carcasses themselves. So going forward, you should only be donating full animal carcasses here to Cripps, because they're going to yield the most material in the least amount of time. You could always collect and donate a bunch of bird feathers or perfect pelts in addition to the full animal carcasses, but with the strategy I'll be outlining today, even that won't be necessary. So for the sake of simplicity, really all you need to focus on are full animal carcasses. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly where on the map you could find a ton of animal carcasses with high material value, which will make the whole process even easier. So now we know that donating stuff fills up our materials bar, and donating full animal carcasses will fill it up the fastest. But exactly how fast are we talking here? Well, for this example, let's consider a situation where we donate a good buck carcass to Cripps. A good buck carcass has a material value of 6. Once donated, Cripps begins breaking down the materials into goods, which will fill up these bars here. It takes 2 materials to equal 1 good, so in other words, you'll have to fill this entire materials bar twice just to fill the goods bar once. When it comes to time, it'll take Cripps 2 minutes to convert 2 materials into 1 good. So our good buck carcass will take 6 minutes to break down and will ultimately yield 3 goods. I hope it's becoming clear just how time consuming this role can be, but luckily that time can be filled by simply setting out to find your next animal carcass. This is definitely a job that goes well with music or podcasts because you're going to be doing a lot of hunting, donating, rinse and repeat. For all of you just getting started, hitting the max capacity of 25 goods for your small wagon will take at the bare minimum 50 minutes, or 9 good buck carcasses. So this may sound like a bit of a repetitive grind, but luckily you'll receive a notification every so often that Cripps has halted production and that he wants you to start a resupply mission. This brings us to our next section of the butcher table screen, production. By completing a resupply mission, Cripps will receive the supplies he needs to continue breaking down the materials that you have donated. Until you complete the mission, the whole operation will pause, so it's important you get this done as quickly as possible to keep everything moving along smoothly. Luckily, the resupply missions are fairly straightforward and easy, so it shouldn't be too much trouble. They often require you to hunt down a specific animal, which is then traded for supplies, pick up a literal sack of supplies for Cripps, or steal a wagon, just to name a few. In addition, completing a resupply mission will add 5 to 20 additional materials to your materials bar, which is a nice bonus. You are also given the option to order the supplies with the simple press of a button, but I don't really recommend ever doing this, as it costs money and you miss out entirely on the rank XP that a resupply mission provides. Finally, we reach the goods section. Eventually, between the standard donations you make to Cripps and the materials you receive from completing resupply missions, your wagon will reach capacity, and at that point, it's time to begin a delivery. You don't necessarily have to reach capacity for your wagon to begin a delivery, but I definitely recommend it. With a full wagon, you'll be able to get the most XP and money out of every delivery. As a beginner with only a small wagon, that will mean reaching 25 goods. Generally speaking, the more goods you deliver, the more XP you receive. When it comes to money, there is a more precise formula, as you could see here. Also, distant deliveries will net you a 25% bonus on top of that, so I recommend doing distant deliveries every single time. Just make sure you have health tonics and plenty of ammo in case you have a showdown with either a computer-controlled enemy or actual real players trying to ruin your delivery. I've personally never had too much trouble with successful deliveries, but you never know. With that, you now understand exactly how the Cripps Trading Company screen works, and what timers and equations are going on behind the scenes. But to sum things up, this is our general game plan. If you follow this simple loop, you'll hit max trader rank in no time at all. However, I do have a few more additional tips to help you complete this loop even faster. This is an important tip for all 3 roles, and the trader is no exception. At first, you will only have 1 daily role challenge to complete, with a second unlocked at rank 5 and a third at rank 10. But when getting started, you're going to need all the role XP you can get. Doing the daily challenges is a quick and easy way to gain a bunch of extra XP without much additional hassle. Plus, once you really get that daily challenge multiplier going, you're going to be rolling in XP and gold, so be sure not to forget your daily challenges. It's pure bang for your buck, and if you only have 30 minutes a day to play Red Dead Online, spend it on completing a daily challenge. The most important aspect of the entire trading role is finding a location on the map that will maximize your return as quickly as possible. That means finding the animals with the most material value as quickly as possible, bringing them back to the camp as quickly as possible, and filling up those bars as quickly as possible. Of course, the world of Red Dead Online is vast and massive. There are so many variables to keep track of, random animal spawns, the condition of each animal, the list goes on and on. But I was able to find a spot that allowed me to reach the max rank for the trader role in just over a week. And it was right here in the fields west of Blackwater. In this area west of Blackwater, you will find tons of deer and buck, usually in groups. Both animals are very common, but surprisingly hold a high material value. Of course, your goal should be to bring perfect carcasses back to the camp, which will require you to cleanly kill the animal if it has 3 stars beside its name. A clean kill on the large-sized buck and deer means you have to land a perfect headshot using a rifle with standard ammo. At first, you may find this difficult and you'll probably damage the carcass in the process. If that's the case, try to find another perfect buck or deer nearby. If you can't, just bring back the good or poor condition carcass to the camp. Again, considering the surprisingly high material value for both bucks and deer, even good or poor condition carcasses are worth the trip back to the camp. Remember, every material counts, especially at the lower ranks. In time though, you'll be picking off animals from horseback with the greatest of ease, and racking up those perfect carcasses like a pro. However, it's actually not the deer and buck alone that makes this location so useful when making your way up the trader ranks. Indeed, it is the semi-regular spawn of a cougar right around here that makes this spot truly special. Cougars are worth a ridiculous amount of material, and it's this beast, especially if you could deliver its carcass in perfect condition, that will make ranking up this role a breeze. Now, I say this area is a semi-regular spawn because, well, it's not entirely consistent. Sometimes you'll pass by this area and there won't be a cougar in sight. However, from my experience at least, I've rode across this area and I'd say more often than not, I'll see a red dot on the map and that cougar will pounce. Keep in mind that your horse will get spooked by the oncoming cougar, but with a quick and steady trigger finger, you should be able to take out the cougar from horseback and still keep it in perfect condition. Again, this might take some practice, but once you get down all the timing, it's the very best way to gather materials for your trading company. Or it's at least the best method that I've managed to find for myself. Let me know in the comments below if you found an even better area on the map when it comes to collecting materials. Generally, my hunting loop is as follows. First, set up a camp in the Great Plains in West Elizabeth. Ride to the cougar spawn area, and if a cougar spawns, kill it and deliver it to the camp, then repeat the process. If the cougar does not spawn, I would then ride to Strawberry, which is only a couple of minutes away. Riding to Strawberry seems to reset the animal spawns, so upon returning to this area from Strawberry, I often found a cougar there waiting for me. If the cougar still doesn't spawn, that's when I'd begin riding further west, looking for perfect deer or buck carcasses, which again don't quite pack the same value as a perfect cougar carcass, but are still pretty damn valuable in their own right. Once the carcass is delivered to your camp and donated to Cripps, begin the process all over again. Remember that your horse can only carry one cougar, deer, or buck carcass at a time, so you'll be riding back and forth between this area and your camp over and over. That's why it's so key to set up your camp here in the Great Plains, and why that cougar spawn is so crucial. It may feel like a grind, but those cougars are worth so much material that it really makes the entire process worth it. So let's update that trader gameplay loop with this strat. This is the exact method I used to reach max rank in the trader role in just over a week of regular play. I only began a delivery after maxing out my wagon, which when starting out is a small wagon capable of carrying 25 goods. Ranking up unlocks the ability to purchase larger wagons, and that leads us to our next tip. As you make your way up the trader ranks, different vehicles, clothing, abilities, and more will be unlocked and made available for purchase. The most important of these unlockables are by far the delivery wagons. All traders start out with a small-sized wagon for trading, which holds a maximum of 25 goods. At rank 5, a medium wagon could be purchased for $500 or 20 gold and holds 50 goods. Finally, at rank 10, a large wagon can be purchased for $750 or 30 gold and can hold a whopping 100 goods. When it comes to ranking up as quickly as possible and making a bunch of cash in the process, I found the best method is to just purchase the biggest wagon you can as soon as you can, then fill it to capacity and do a distant delivery. A full small wagon long distance delivery will get you about 312 trader XP and $78. The medium wagon will get you around 1,562 trader XP and $187. Finally, the legendary large wagon will get you an incredible 3,125 trader XP and $625. Good God. So really, the grind for the trader role will be mostly evident from rank 1 to 5. 5 to 10 becomes easier with a medium wagon, and then once you have the large wagon, going from 10 to 20 is basically a breeze, but more on that in just a moment. While these larger wagons do have quite the hefty price tag attached to them, just look at those insane payouts. The long distance deliveries pay off, and you'll very quickly recoup all of those costs. Then it's pure profit from there. If you don't have enough money or gold to afford a larger wagon once they're unlocked, there are no shortage of different ways to make cash quickly here in Red Dead Online as it stands today. Now, detailing all those different methods go a bit beyond the scope of this video, but if you're hurting for cash, just try some of these out and you should have enough cash saved up in no time. Really, the ultimate goal for any trader should be to reach rank 11, because it's at this point reaching the max rank of 20 becomes a formality. At rank 11, you unlock the almighty efficiency skill. When combined with the power of the large delivery wagon and the hunting wagon, both of which are unlocked at rank 10, you now control the holy trinity of trader goodness, and our gameplay loop for the trader role overall turns into an absolute joke. With the hunting wagon at your disposal, you'll be able to store multiple animal carcasses in a single hunting run, dramatically speeding up the process compared to before, where only one large carcass would fit on your horse. With the efficiency skill, the material value of all perfect carcasses donated to Cripps is boosted by 25%. Simply following the same route as before, but now with the hunting wagon and efficiency, I was regularly returning back to camp with a cougar carcass in addition to a bunch of buck and deer carcasses. Just look at that materials bar filling up. Look at those meaty chunks of meter. Of course, reaching 100 goods now becomes a much quicker process, which means this payout becomes a regular occurrence, and at that point, you'll reach maximum rank in no time at all. And with that, we've pretty much covered everything you need to know about the trader role, and reaching the maximum rank should not be much of a problem. Going forward, even after reaching rank 20, delivering a full large wagon becomes a fantastic way to make hundreds of dollars and gain thousands of XP. And in my case, catch up on some podcasts in the process. I'm sure in time, Rockstar will continue to flesh out this role with various new additions, kind of like how they've been doing with the legendary bounties for the bounty hunter role. Legendary animals, anyone? In the coming days, I'll be diving deep into the other two roles in Red Dead Online, Collector and Bounty Hunter. So if that sounds cool to you and you want to see more Red Dead Online videos like this one, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to the Frontier Pursuits update, Red Dead Online enthusiasm is at an all-time high, and I have been completely obsessed with the game since the update went live. These roles are an absolute game changer and really bring to the forefront everything I loved about Red Dead Redemption 2 and incorporating them into the online mode in a very fun and satisfying fashion. But that's all for today, so until next time, thanks so much for watching everyone, and take care.